Hey y'all, Sherry G. How y'all doing? Look, if you haven't done so, go ahead and hit this or hit that like button while you're here. And thanks for stopping by the channel. Y'all, Stormi's still and her business partner Kyle. What do y'all think about them? Now, I have to tell you, when I saw that scene with the two of them together, first of all, I was surprised that she had a business partner because we never heard any mention of it. And I think it's a good thing, right? In theory, I think it's a good thing. And I say that because I have some doubts. The jury is out on my part anyway. I was also happy to hear her confess that there were some struggles with Canvas and that she struggled financially, and also when she admitted that she almost lost her house because of it. I was shocked to hear that someone, a family member, actually forged her signature. And of course, she didn't elaborate on that. In my opinion, the information that they gave us, that whole scene was vague. It was real vague. And it seemed like they were just kind of like jumping all over the place with the information that they did feed us. Stormi got a little tearful, and I wasn't even sure that those tears was authentic and real. In fact, the whole scene had me curious, and I was curious because they were so vague. Now, I feel like she had to address the things that she addressed, although they were vague, because the blogs have already been on top of everything. The blogs have already gotten into the business and found out, by looking at public records, that things were financially in a disarray when it came to Canvas Beauty, and also that there were some personal financial struggles. Courtney had a $14,000 lien that was placed against their house because he didn't pay an interior designer, allegedly, right? So anyway, I feel that production may have told them that they need to get on top of these stories because it's all out here in the blogs and address it. So I feel like that's what prompted Stormi to actually address it. Again, I say that because it was so vague. And because it was so vague, I was curious. And I wanted to know more about Kyle because we'd never heard about him before. So I wanted to know more about him and his background. I heard someone say that they recognized him as an actor. I didn't recognize him as an actor. I didn't recognize him at all. So I did do some digging around, and I found a little information that made me even more curious. And I'll share that with you guys in just a minute. But before I do, I'm going to drop my disclaimer. Keep in mind when I come back that the views I express in my commentary, it's just my views, y'all. It's just my opinion. It's my way of seeing things, my vantage point, and everything is alleged. Could be true, might not be true. Anyway, y'all, hang tight and I'll be right back.
How you like that? You gon' like that? Da 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 da. You like that? How you like that? Da 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 da. Now, look at you, now look at me. Look at you, now look at me. Look at you, now look at me. How you like that? Now, look at you, now look at me. Look at you, now look at me. Look at you, now look at me. How you like that?
Okay, y'all, so getting back to the conversation with Stormi and Kyle, he mentioned that he wanted to position Canvas in a way so that they didn't go back and do some of the things that happened before, some of the failures that she experienced in the past. he wanted to avoid that and position the company in a way so that they would never go back there again. And so I was thinking, I'm like, okay, but remember, let's keep in mind that this particular scene was filmed during the summer. And so when I heard that conversation, that part of the conversation, I even began to get a little more doubtful. First, I was wondering who the heck Kyle was and where he came from. But then listening to him, it sounded like, and I hate to say this because I just really hope things work out for Stormi, but it sounded like a bunch of crap. And I'll tell you why. Because, like I said, that particular scene was filmed in the summer. Well, there have been some more financial woes or instances that have come up since then. Now, trending at some point, she actually did commentary around, I don't know, it was a few days ago, but it had to do with Stormi owing American Express, I think somewhere in the tune of $300,000. And since then, dropped the mic over on her channel, she actually showed where Stormi owes UPS, I think it's $102,812 plus court cost. So whatever Kyle was selling on the show, it didn't work. And so that's one of the things that made me even more curious and somewhat doubtful that he is truly the CEO / CMO. So I started searching for him, where I could find him and where I could find his company. He does have a company by the name of Crackerjack, and it is a digital marketing company. However, Kyle really doesn't have a social media presence. So that kind of struck me as odd. I didn't find him on Facebook. Now, if you do, let me know, but I couldn't find him on Facebook, nor could I find the company. Same thing with TikTok, and TikTok is one of his clients. Didn't find him on Instagram. Well, I did, but the account was labeled as private. So this whole thing, this whole conversation with Stormi and Kyle reminded me of the time when Marceau introduced us to his supposed business partner, Gino Peters. And Gino was supposed to come in and he was supposed to have all of this expertise, which, by the way, he did. But he was supposed to come in and help Marceau get established in the areas where he wasn't established. So Gino was supposedly to have a set of skills that Marceau didn't possess. And so the two of them would work together and bring Skull up, make it bigger, make it better, make it a more reliable company, so to speak. And this is the same sort of thing that Kyle was selling us on screen when he was sitting down with Stormi. So I'm thinking, and I could be wrong, and I hope I am for Stormi's sake, but I'm thinking this is all for cap and all for TV. Because here we are months later, and there's still no Canvas 2.0, right? And we've been hearing about Canvas 2.0 since the beginning of the year, and she still hasn't birthed that company or rebirthed Canvas into Canvas 2.0 as of yet. So anyway, y'all, that's my thoughts on Mr. Kyle and Miss Stormi and their supposed business partnership. Get down in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are. So yeah, I did go back to IG, I'm sorry, to LinkedIn to just see if there was perhaps something that I missed when it came to Kyle. And so I started looking at the comments. I started looking at posts because I'm like, well, did he post anything about Canvas? Because, you would think that if Canvas was one of his clients, especially a recent client, he would post that. So we would find that over at LinkedIn. Just something, right? So when I went back to IG, I looked at the comments, and the most recent comment that I saw, the most recent comment was 6 years ago. So that struck my attention. I thought, that's weird. 6 years ago. And the most recent post that he posted was 2 years ago. And this is the post from 2 years ago where he's talking about this gentleman by the name of Jahil Oliver, who's the CEO and founder of Hello Tractor. He's known across Africa as the Uber farmer. So anyway, that was his most recent post. So this was one of his clients. And then, like I said, there was the most recent comment was like 6 years ago. So I found that to be odd. Now, he could be operating under a different name, an alias perhaps. But I don't know. He introduced himself to us on the show as Kyle. So anyway, y'all, that is all I have on Mr. Kyle and Mr. Kyle Evanko and Stormi Still. Share your thoughts, please. What do you think is going on between these two? Do you think it's all cap, or do you think it's valid? Maybe you know something that I don't know. Please don't hesitate to share. In the meantime, y'all, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I'll be back. Until then, ciao.
Ha, how you like that?